Yeah, yeah. Welcome to Make Path Presents. I'm Ronnie Hayes, and today we're going to talk about Dead City. My soul's dead. My soul is a dead city. What shit are we talking about? Yo, there's three of the dumbest things I want to jump into right away. I'm going to start the poll, though. You guys can vote on the episode. Let me pop out the chat, get the poll started, do all that. I wonder if there's a way to do that shit before the stream, like pre-set it up. I never tried. The new poll, not the old way we used to do it, because I could have set that up. Let me see. Start a poll. Episode 6. That's not spelled right. Dead City. Good or bad? Good or bad? Good or bad? Episode 6, Dead City, good or bad? Start the poll. I'm assuming viewership is dropping, so we're not going to even wait for people to show up. I think I'm like 10 minutes early, too. So we're not going to wait for the other 5 people to show up. We're just going to jump into it. They can rewind the stream if they want to play catch up. But I do want to jump in immediately to the dumbest shit before I forget. One I put in the trailer. First off, can you hear me good? See me good? Why can't I move my... What the fuck was that? Screen, get back over here. There we go. Now I can move it. Where'd the chat go? There's the chat. Okay. And there's the streaming. There we go. Oh, I love this monitor. Okay. I put it in the thumbnail. It said, cuts like a hot knife through metal. Wait, did I put all that? No, I should have put... Oh, you know what? I think I fucked up the thumbnail. I was supposed to put... I put like a hot knife. I was supposed to put cuts like a hot knife. I think I put like a hot knife through metal. You know what I'm saying. One of the dumbest things, and we continually get lazy scenery. They'll do like landscape shots and they'll show you like New York. Remember they did this big promotion image of the street that is basically the view from like their community. It's not even like the community that we're in or following. So they did a promotional tour with that, lighting up the street, that Radio City sign. And they just use it. And this is how shitty AMC is with the budget. They just use this shit to splash like some landscape image. And it's so lazy because everything else is inside the prison, the little mini prison they have in their community. The world building is terrible. You got Negan I find it interesting, Negan taking over the community. The way the old lady died was lame, sure, but and then he kicked out his buddy, and sure, it had weird edits taking them from one location to the next, like they were talking over here. Then he looked and saw the blood on his foot, but then he waited till he was walking with Negan to kind of like start to mention the problems. And then he waited till he entered the room full of all the bad guys. Then he brings up the blood on his foot and attacks Negan. So very choppy storytelling. In the editing. But I think the editing is a victim of where they chose to shoot those scenes and break them up. But even when the girl gets sick at the end, Jenny or Penny or whatever, whoever the fuck, useless character number 75, when she's injured and she shows up in this lame, yet again, someone goes to kill a character and they decide not to or can't, or they're weak or they're stupid or they're retarded. Something happens and they can't do it. We get it. You know, they're always putting characters in fake drama or fake They're about to die. Psych, no, they're not. That's some CW shit. So she doesn't do it, can't do it, whatever, and she faints. So where does Negan take her to? The prison. Why? Because that's a part of a set that they need to continue to reuse to save on the budget. The budget is horrendous. Back to the world building, you got Negan taking over this community, and he's just kind of moping outside. You just took over a base, and you could have this place like zooming with so many different things popping off, and nothing is happening except when it's like, oh, we brought your family. And then Negan's like, oh, just send them back. The writers are so fucking out of touch. They, in the real world, let alone a zombie apocalypse, they act as if they brought them from what, Tennessee? They brought them from a few states away, on land, on sea, on boat, on lake, on creek, like wherever the fuck they brought them from. And Negan just thinks it's safer to turn him around. He's got his son's like 3. He's a little baby, and he just sends them back, the wife and the son. Like, Negan, why don't you just send your guys out there and shoot them in the back of the head? It'll probably make it quicker. You know, why torture them? You didn't feed them. It's not like you told your guys to, like, you know, treat them like kings, feed them all day, and then tomorrow send them back, which is still terrible. But like, these writers are fucked in the head, bro. This is a zombie apocalypse. Your enemy kidnaps your family, brings them through multiple states, and then you take over. Your family gets there and you send them back because you're moping about being the bad guy or being bad for them. No, the actors just don't want to be in the show, or AMC doesn't want to pay them to be in the show, and they're just not in the show. They have like a stand-in, probably. I didn't even pay attention when he's looking out the window. Holy shit, it's dumb. Negan, you're dumb. Negan, that's selfish. Negan, you just killed your family. You just killed your family. Like, what the fuck? Negan's racist. He's ashamed of his son. That's the hashtag Negan's a racist. That's all there is to it. There's the only explanation. Anyhow, so Negan the racist, he tortures his own family by sending them back. See, you watch that scene and you think like, oh, he thinks he's bad for his family. But we all know what's really going on is he's trying to get his family killed, but slowly. So he just sends them back. And he doesn't tell his people, to like treat them great. I don't want to, don't harm. You need to escort them, protect them. Nope. He just is like, see these assholes, send them back. Dumb. Fucking dumb. And then you got Maggie fighting I thought it was a zombie bear at first, but apparently it's not. I don't know. I mean, he's got a pretty wicked scar on his face. It would have been cooler if it was a zombie bear. But I give them credit. Usually with the CGI, they are terrible. It wasn't amazing, but I don't think it was laugh out loud terrible. Not like the deer from season 7. Remember that? Whoa, boy. Whoa. Anyhow, so the bear, Maggie's going to face off with the bear. And the writers have her pulling out the smallest little knife known to man. And then her son saves the day after domestically violent. Wait, how do I say it? He commits domestic violence against his mother. And this is a legacy character we're supposed to like. Fuck you, die, but then it's okay because he saves her after. Like, I'm so sick of the Herschel. Just die. Herschel's a shit character. I feel bad. The actor's like, oh my God, I'm going to be in The Walking Dead. I'm Glenn's son, and I'm a dick. I'm a little shitty brat asshole. You know what I'm saying? Like, that sucks for the actor. Anyhow, so Herschel sucks. I want him to die. I want to resurrect the governor so he can kill Herschel 2.0. What else we got? Okay, so Maggie's fighting the bear with the smallest knife. But before that dumb shit, she needs to release the walkers on the bear. Why? Because it's cool visually, but it's not effective at all. I get it. It's cool visuals. I want to see it. So they're chained to the wall. Does she find a crowbar to maybe snap the lock off or bend, some of the metal and the bear's getting to her and she just can't quite get it? And then boom, nope. She simply winds up with a machete-like arm sword and cuts through probably like 1 inch thick solid chain. I don't know if I can describe this. Like, you know, that really heavy chain where you tow really heavy shit, or you're doing something in construction that requires. We're not talking about little thin chains. We're talking about the heavy big boy shit. She cuts through metal like butter, chain metal. She just twice, not even once. She winds up and does it again. I get it. There's zombies and it's not realistic, but you want it to be grounded in realism, which is what makes The Walking Dead great, or used to. And having Maggie just wind up and just chop through metal is visual brain damage. I don't know how else to describe it. Boy, is that dumb. I know there was another really dumb thing that just slipped my mind, but there's a few really dumb fucking things in this episode. I probably should have rewinded and skimmed through it, because you got not much going on. Really boring episode. Herschel's gonna like poison all of them, but then he's not. He gets caught, and they're wasting the Kim Coates character. I really like his presence, but I wish they would utilize him more. I know there was one more greatly dumb thing that they did in this episode, like massively stupid. But most of the other shit I just don't care about at all. Maybe we'll get to the fan feedback and I'll think of. I was actually going to pull up the episode now and just give it a little skim through, because I know I'm missing one really dumb. No, I don't want that. Hold on. What is it on Prime Video? Well, let me refresh chat and see what chat has to say while I'm looking this up. One thing I did, I need to find time to talk about it this week for sure, is I watched Killer of Killers. It's an animated Predator show, movie, sorry. And I want to discuss that a little bit. Not today, because I want to dedicate its own thing. But I did enjoy it, and I'm bringing it up because I do recommend it. So Killer of Killers, it's on Hulu, and there's a big like reveal at the end that I think fans would like, if you liked Prey especially, but it's not for me, but I get why fans would be excited. Yeah, and they don't see this bad guy coming a mile away. Well, maybe Maggie gets credit because she sees him coming. She's like, bro, he betrays his own, Negan and them. What makes you think he's not going to betray us? Yeah, it's just so stupid. Oh, when the bear pushes the table, that was actually kind of funny. Somehow, how it was filmed was a little bit funny, a little bit humorous. Oh, you know what else bothers me a lot? When you have characters that don't speak, and 9 times out of 10, it's because the writers suck at their job, and I stand by that, because we get it a lot. And I think most of the times it's because it's a hard scene. And this is when Negan and Maggie are talking. And I just wish we get characters that just talk normal. They talk like they're an actor that knows, like, this is a moment. This is going to be a moment. Like, I'm sorry, both Negan, I like both actors. I like both Jeffrey Dean Morgan and Lauren Cohan. And most of the time they're charismatic and it's good and blah, blah, blah. My problem is it's being filmed overly dramatic to a point where it's stale, and it doesn't have that organic magic that a lot of early Walking Dead did. It felt like real people talking to each other. And I think that was a strong suit. And at the end, Negan asks Maggie something about, do you think the old times were as good as we remember, or do you think we'd like remember them being better? just to get us through it. And I want the whole conversation. I wanted them to be more like, organic with how they deliver. Because they're delivering like it's a play, like it's a stage, and Maggie just walks off. She could have said anything. She could have said, no, for me, they were that good. She could have said, maybe it's a bit of both, but say something. She just kind of looks and walks away. I don't think writers and directors, I don't think they realize how shitty most of that comes off, because fans are expecting something almost all the time. It's terrible to have them not say anything. Anyhow, I don't remember what that last thing is. That was really dumb. Oh, maybe it was the girl getting chewed up last episode. And then the new bad guy pulls her out as a zombie. And he's like, yeah, we just found her chewed up. She managed to tell me your whole life story before she died. Okay. Oh, that's another thing. He's got the dumbest weapon. You know how sometimes they'll have a villain and he's got this real unique little quirk of a weapon? I'm trying to think of a character that had something like the knife in the boot, or I know I had one when I was watching the scene that was on the tip of my mind that was like really unique. Like this guy's pulls like a razor out of his wrist or something, and strangles someone. This little rinky dink knife blade out of the watch is beyond dumb. First off, have you ever worn a watch? The moment you add pressure to it, it's just going to spin around your wrist. It's not stabbing anything. Like, they had to have known on set, this is dumb. Like, this is bad. Unless they show it and it's like really strapped down. But that's besides the point. That little rinky dink knife, and he's stabbing them in the head like it's actually going to reach or do any damage. Little dumb shit like that. They're trying too hard. Anyhow, let me put that aside. Let me see what the fans say. All right. 73% says bad. I agree with that. This episode sucked. I haven't watched any Dead City episodes this season. Hope you have a good stream, Ronnie Hayes. Yeah, I'm close to I'm on the verge of just saying, fuck it. I think there's only two options. Listen, I like chilling with you guys, but we have not revitalized the channel yet. So it's not like it's not like I'm turning my back on you, or, you know what I'm saying? Like, we just haven't revitalized the channel, done anything with the channel much. But I do want to get back into doing stuff. Now, my thinking is we either drop it, because I can find better shit to do on a Sunday night. I mean, I got to prep for work early in the morning the way it is. So that alone for me is a positive. Or we can ball it up into another topic and keep it moving, kind of like connecting it with The Last of Us. But we'd have to come up with something, maybe multiple topics, because it's Dead City's at a point where I think it's at the point where it's no longer worth even reviewing. It's that bad. I've lost all hope for Dead City to be any good whatsoever. It's one of those where I'm going to skip it, and maybe in 10 years I'll be like, yeah, maybe whatever did they do with that show? Let me watch it. And then I could be like, well, I'm glad I didn't waste my time day one on this shit. Best episode of the series, you say? I wish I felt the same way. Actually, I don't even know, to be honest, if, I don't even know, because if I look back on them all, what if I'm like, well, yeah, the bear shit was interesting and the rest was better than what we had before, and the other episodes sucked? Because it's not like the other episodes blew us away. It kind of built up to Grandma and her gang, and that's pointless now. None of that matters. So rewatching the first few episodes is pointless. You thought he burned Lucille? There's a new one. This is the first Walking Dead I watched in years. Sorry to hear it. Sorry to hear it. I didn't know what was going on, didn't care. The show is sad and they ruined all the characters. Wow, at least we have your show. Well, thank you very much, Big Joe. Facts, if Herschel dies, I'll only be sad for Maggie. She just can't win. Yeah, I won't even be sad for Maggie. I'm like, you're free now. Your son's a little dick, you know? You failed in raising him somehow to some degree. Um, Blame Negan, I don't care. But your son's a little pecker. And I'm glad Glenn didn't get to see his son be a little dumb bitch, you know? I'm glad he got brained. And Gomez says the spin-offs have the same problem. Yes, they do. Way too much in this episode that was confusing and all over the place. Did they see the bidding war for Texas Chainsaw Massacre? Who do you think the franchise should go to? I don't know if I have someone in particular off the top of my head that I think it should go to, in all fairness. One thing they did that was finally realistic was Maggie stabbing the walker, and it showed it took effort to stab and then remove the knife. Yeah, maybe they have one little redeem. I must have missed that little one. I think I was reeling from her slicing through fucking because I remember her stabbing a couple zombies when Herschel left, and I was starting to check out. Yeah, I feel you. The scene was strange for Maggie not to say something. I know, she just came off as a shithead. It is shitty, and they need a fresh new directors and writers. Yeah, they need a fresh batch. Well, it's tricky with the directors, though. I will semi stick up for directing when it comes to the show, because the way The Walking Dead is structured, the directors can't change much. Besides, I don't mean it to sound like camera angles is it, because they bring a lot. They do bring a lot more. There's a certain charm, essence, of flair, but think about it like camera angles, because the story's written. Directors can't, like, I think actually Lauren Cohan directed this episode. Now, where I will give her some criticism is in the behind the scenes, they said she was involved in the writing too. Well, that sucks because the writing is trash, Lauren. The directing didn't stick out to me as like, oh my God, who the fuck directed this? But again, the director can't change what the characters do, say. There's slight changes they could do, but if she was involved in the writing and directing, well, yeah, you failed in some way. One thing they did was finally, okay, I already read that. It's shitty. I already read that one too. Like how barely anybody would say Rick's name in the final season of the show. The brave man, like what the fuck? Yeah, they do stupid shit. The Casio watch knife is over the top. Yeah. I wish I could remember, because that's like a 90s thing, I feel like. Having the villain do like this quirky thing, you know? And I think some TV shows in the early 2000s had a couple villains that did that. Thank you very much, Omari. Did I see Resident Evil 9? No, I did not. I do got to check that trailer out. Dead City as a whole, I think, is the most disappointing spinoff. Especially season 2. I'll tell you that. For me, it has me checking out. I'm almost at the point where it's like, this is just, it's not even good enough to criticize. Killing off Navarez was dumb too soon with the new character. They've got Negan and my future ex-wife Maggie to do a spinoff with, and this is what they come up with. So disappointing. Yeah. I think I'm going to check out the Predator movie on Hulu tonight. Happy to see a Predator get more attention lately. Happy to see Predator, not my Predator. Yes, someone said the Prey and Killer of Killers saved the franchise. And in a way it did, even though I still have heavy criticisms towards Prey. I still enjoy the movie. I just wish they don't dumb down the Predator when it's time to kill him. That really sucks. And the Killer of Killers only has like one little super tiny bit of modern audience shit, where you have like this, badass ultimate grandma leading, Viking warriors or some shit like that, that in real life I call bullshit on. Bullshit, you know? Other than that little bit, it's really good. It's worth it. The middle story too, because it's 3 stories in one. The middle story is my favorite. I love it. It's with 2 Japanese brothers, and it's awesome. Due to forgetting around 8:45, I was like, oh shit, I missed tonight's episode, but then I realized the show sucks, so whatever. Yeah, that's, you know, that's all it is. It sucks, whatever. Let me see that poll. Yeah, we're at 74%. And we are going to make this a smaller stream tonight, I think, in to pay our respects to the death of the Walking Dead franchise, Dead City. We're going to be closing up shop in a little bit. So if you got any last minute questions, get them in. I might check out that Resident Evil trailer, though, since we're pretty much done. This show sucks ass. Who is that? I don't recognize her at all. Is that the girl, Jenny? No, that's not Jenny, is it? Or whatever her name is, Penny? Yeah, that's probably her. That looks like, is that the same girl? She's randomly popping up when you search Dead City, so I'm assuming that's her. It didn't look like her for a minute. I feel like he's wasted. He could have been so much better, though. I'm trying to think, what is a character that had like a... Man, like a cliche killing weapon. Not cliche, but like one of those, like, they wanted it to be a unique signature weapon. And... Damn. I don't know. Let me put on Resident Evil 9. Is it a real legit trailer? Because I have a thing, if it's not... I just saw my my thumbnail. I did make a mistake. I was supposed to put cuts like a hot knife through metal, but I just put like a... You get the idea. Like a hot knife through metal. I mean, it's fine, but if I could go back and change it, I would have put cuts. What is that? Resident Evil 9 trailer. Spell Resident wrong. That's... Wow, that's fun. Oh, you know what? I did see this pop up in my thing, and I haven't had a chance to watch it yet.
Sir.
Got the sound good. Sound design. Yeah, I've been watching Ill for years. I can't wait for Ill. Oh, you guys can hear the trailer? I hate that fucking name, bro. I don't know what it is about Requiem. Is that the name of it? Bro, I need a dictionary for this word. First time I heard it when I was younger was Requiem for a Dream. Let me look at how to pronounce this fucking word. Make sure I'm doing it right. Requiem. Am I saying it right? How do you pronounce it? Mass for the repose of the souls of the dead. A musical composition setting parts of Requiem Mass and blah, blah, blah. An act or token of a remembrance. So which one is it, motherfucker? How do you say it? How do you say it? So how do they mean it? Do they mean it? Whatever. But yeah, Requiem for a Dream, for whatever reason, that word just stuck. Certain word. It's a rare word that if I can go my whole life and never use, it just sounds like bleh. And then there was Predator Requiem, you know? I think it's because when I go to pronounce it, I always fuck it up. So it's like, whatever. Resident Evil 9 Requiem, yeah.
Grace.
Great.
Grace.
You dumb bitch. Grace.
Grace Ashcroft.
Yes?
My office.
Oh,
Grace.
coming.
Is that the daughter from the no, was it? No, she's messy. I'm a little bored. I want gameplay. I don't see any gameplay.
If this is about the report you asked for yesterday, it'll be ready in 3. No, 2 days, tops.
Put a hold on that for now. We found another body. One that exhibits the same pathology as the others we've been investigating.
What was
Now, I
up
need a
with
good
Tess?
technical analyst on this.
Okay.
I need your eyes on the crime scene.
Pictures. Ooh, she's getting off on that. She's like, yes.
The Renwood Hotel.
Crime scene photos.
I know that's where your mother was murdered. Alyssa died 8 years ago. Perhaps it's time for you to face the past. Grace.
Wait, so this isn't the same girl? I forgot her name. Was it like Chloe or something? What's the point of I thought they were transitioning into making her like the lead character. What's the point of that if this isn't the main? Because now I feel like this ain't the main girl.
What is this? Hey!
And one thing too that is bringing me further and further away from enjoying Resident Evil is them coming away from zombies so much. And I know that's been an old school thing. Zombies was like what got you in the door, and then they hit you with all this weird shit. And as cool as it was for the OG game, the more they did it, the less I liked it. I hit a breaking point with Resident Evil 7. As amazing as it looked, there was no zombies, and the best monsters they had were these terribly designed, visually boring as fuck mold monsters that were horrible. And if Resident Evil's not going to be about zombies anymore to some degree, I just don't know why they can't sprinkle them in, because you start losing me with and I get it. It's in the DNA of the franchise. And I think this is the part that I struggle with when I come to enjoying Resident Evil, is when you get the people with superpowers and the monsters and the mystical, and the guy runs here and jumps up like you start losing me with that shit. I really wish they would just go back like Resident Evil 4, the remake game. I had a lot of fun playing that one. That one was fantastic. And still they had that supernatural shit in it. I don't know.
Stay close. They're coming.
I know now that you're the one that I've been searching for. The special one. The chosen one. Miss Ashcroft.
Investigating all these strange deaths, huh?
We need to keep our voices down.
Have you seen the same shit I've seen?
Please know that you are my hope.
I'm bored.
Everyone's gone.
Well, the ending had zombie teeth. That's at least exciting. Most of that trailer bored the fuck out of me. I'll be real with you, though. I'll wait until gameplay. Boring. What else we got? Thoughts on new Jurassic World coming out soon? I haven't been keeping up with them. They seem dull. I think I watched the first one, and the last two I just skipped. The trailer of the new one looks interesting, though. I will give that a try. So that's a good thing. If it interests me enough for me to give it a shot and not skip it like I did the last one, then it's at least good. Thoughts on the Alien Earth trailer? Loved it, bro. There's some issues. Everything has issues, but I loved it. I got excited. I'm not eager. I don't have to see Predator in it, I'm fine with them teasing and doing some Easter egg and sticking to aliens for as much as possible because it's a show, right? So it's gonna go fucking slow. I don't think people are prepared for how slow it's gonna go. Now I could be wrong, but I have a feeling it's gonna go really fucking slow. It might still be good. But I just want them to build this world. I guess maybe when they first announced it, I was thinking with a lot of other people, like, how's that going to work? Because the timeline doesn't seem to match. But now that I see the trailer, I get where they're going timeline wise. There's another trailer for survival horror game called Ill. And yes, like I mentioned, I've been keeping an eye on Ill for years. For a little bit there, I didn't think it was going to happen at all. I thought it was bullshit. Now, Ill is interesting because it showed the trailer. Matter of fact, let's pop that up. Ill trailer. This shit, if they keep it simple, right? My last stream got dinged, by the way. I guess I was showing footage for something. So I gotta be careful. I'll only show a little bit. Oh, what happened? So this is Ill. If you haven't seen it, watch the trailer yourself. But yeah. Oh, wait. I want to play one part. Yo, that shit had me dying when I first seen it, bro. Hold up. So it's got like a weird, you know, the movie The Thing? It has that weird body horror type to it that I love. And, you know, these creepy guys, I dig it. And zombie-like, which is good enough for me. But I wish the music wasn't so overpowering. In the old clip they showed, it was very atmospheric. Just the sounds of the area, the walking, the gush, the, you know, gushing and slop of blood and spit and blah, blah, blah. The mushing sounds of all that. The gunfire, the this and the that. Some of the gunfire I want them to improve upon. I find oddly video games are doing a lazy gun sounds. I mean, it really should rock. It should, when you shoot them off, you should feel like I want to just keep shooting it to hear that sound type, you know? And if you're going for some realistic sounds on some, then that's fine. Mix it up a bit. But anyway. And this is great because it's all gameplay. And what has me hopeful and nervous is if it's all gameplay, maybe it's no story or weak story. And you can make games that are fun, that have really thin story. It's fine. As long as you give us the gore, the excitement, the thrill, the visuals, the, you know, good resolution, good frame rate, like no bugs, or little to no bugs. I mean, this shit looks cool. Where's that? I can't keep showing more. I know they're gonna hit me for that song. But here's like the sound. Hear that kind of. Here's that fight. Look at that. Like a mob of. Oh yeah, check this out. Oh. Damn. Bro, that's cool. This part here had me right here coming up. Yeah. Hold on. Yeah, this guy. Just hold on. The running and breathing like a little baby monster coming to get you. You just kicks them into some trash cans. Yeah. I want that to be good. And again, you could do thin story. I don't understand what's so wrong with that. If it's great visuals, great, it runs great, little bugs, you have that. And this is going for the body horror, the gore, like they're leaning into that. Stick with that. And I'm fine with the week story. Make it at least 15 hours to, with the price of games going up. We need to have like a 20-hour minimum. I mean, given if there's some games where it's like, okay, this is the game, but it's only like 15 hours, that's fine as long as it's, maybe there's some stuff you can explore to stretch out that time or some things to do. But we need really, it doesn't have to, we don't have to have 100, 200-hour games all the time, but we need at least to have this minimum 20 hours of just enjoyment here for some of these games. You don't want to get this game, weak story, great shooting and great gore, but it's only 6 hours, 8 hours. No, not for $80, Anyhow, so I got my eye on Ill. Kevin says, only 2 episodes left. Please watch and review. It's one of the few things that gets me through the bad show. Listen, I'll think about it. At the best, what I might do, if there's only 2 left, is we might just skip a Sunday and do both of them on the finale. We may do that. We'll see what I got going on next Sunday. Because I know I think it's next Saturday, I have something coming up. So if that bleeds into Sunday, depending on what's going on, maybe I can make that work. The random ass forced marriage story for Negan should have never happened. It was one last desperate attempt to get him loved by his haters, which didn't work. Yeah, they have stupid shit too. And you'll never not convince me it's just for checking boxes. Like they just wanted a interracial marriage or interracial couple on there. They get real weird with the box checking, and that starts people on the internet yelling back and forth about what's woke, what's not, and blah blah blah. Meanwhile, normal people see what they're doing and they're like, yeah, it's kind of pointless. They want them to get a little more soft on Negan. So also they got boxes to check, and it just becomes a convoluted mess and a pointless mess, because now they're in this box where they got them. How do they use them? They tease them, they send them away, but it's done really poorly. There's supposed to be gameplay showed in August. Well, in August, I'll be excited. For now, I was bored by Resident Evil 9 trailer. Couldn't agree more. Resident Evil 7 is so overrated. It's a boring game. People just like it because it was a return to survival. Well, I think the beginning was a return to survival. Then the beginning had high levels of promise. For me, after that, several hour mark, it fell apart. Like I remember I was so wanting the collector's edition with that house. Everything about the vibe, the feel, the intro, I was so ready for it. I still think it has a great intro. And I think that intro blinded not everybody, but a good amount of people into thinking like, okay, this is it, because there's just no defense for the mold monsters. They are terrible design. They're visually unpleasant. They're not interesting. It's mold in a monster form. It's boring as fuck. It's disinteresting as hell. You got rid of zombies for that, You could have just pop zombies in anywhere. Who gives a fuck, But anyway, Clyde also says, I really hope they remake Resident Evil 5. I love the zombies in Africa story. So much potential for that remake. I remember playing that with one of my ex-girlfriends, and the only thing I remember is we did co-op. Because I remember thinking like, oh shit, you were interested in this game, but she loved shooters, and we did co-op. And I remember thinking, this isn't the kind of Resident Evil game that I'm into. But coming out of 4, not being all the way my style, but having a lot of fun playing it. And then, because I think with 4, I had so much fun. I played it on PS2 first, probably, but then I played it on the GameCube, definitely, and then the Wii, something like that. So I enjoyed it, but it wasn't my style. And then 5 came out, and that really wasn't my style, but it did have zombies, and it kind of seemed like it was going for more action, different feel. And I want them to get back to this survival horror aspect. I lost Resident Evil after 5. From 5, I don't even remember 6 at all. I still got to look it up. I don't even think I played it. 7 is what kind of brought me back into it, but disappointed me 10 hours in. But I still played it to completion. I completed all over his face. And then 8, 8 I did enjoy. I do like the werewolf vampire kind of. But again, I miss the zombies. I'm a zombie whore, you know? I want rotted flesh, you know? Anything in the Walking Dead universe after season 6 is dumb. I disagree. Eric. That's funny. I tried to do that so dry. Instead of saying Eric, I tried to be like Eric, but it didn't came out right. Listen, Eric. Season 7, episode 1 is probably one of the greatest episodes in the history of the Walking Dead franchise. Fight me. I still think it is. There's so much about that was cinematic greatness. After that, however, I will agree. It's been pretty shitty after season 7, episode 2 on has been pretty shit, you know? Anyhow. Last minute to vote in the poll. Vote down below. What do you guys, what do you gals have to say? Yo, before we go, real quick, if chat doesn't mind, give me like a shotgun of ideas and topics and blah, blah, blah. Like we already brought up Ill, Killer of Killers. I don't have a pen. How do I not have a fucking pen? Holy shit, someone's giving me money? Bro,
Long time Deadhead here. Love all your content, but I miss your old stories from your personal life.
Oh.
Moroni.
Damn. Awkward. Awkward. How could we? Well, you might be one of like the 10 people who enjoys stories or something. I'll consider it. We could do some story time. Thank you very much for the $10 super chat. We still got to get some goals going because, you know, why not, you know? Yeah, we could pop in some older stories because I think it's so far removed. I could talk about things that are like 20 years old and it won't be so, you know? But sometimes I think like normal person stories sometimes have like a, just a twinge of nostalgia too. Like even just talking about, I was just talking to somebody about something back in the day. It had to do with like movies, VHS. What the fuck was that? And it's something you don't even think about. Till like years later. What was that? It was something totally different because I remember telling my daughter, I was like, yo, can you believe we used to do this? Something about movies and, but you get what I'm saying. But yeah, I do have a load of other stories we could probably, but I would probably have to come up with a good way to package that, you know? But again, thank you very much for the $10 super chat. I was actually going to make a cardboard sign that says like, you know, I'll stream for tips or something or money, something stupid. I figured if we're going to hang out here, I might as well be goofy and enjoyable than be too serious and a dick face, you know? All right. So we do got Ill. That'd be a game. Killer of Killers. I did put that down. I'm going to make a little few notes here. I might write them when I get off stream though. Hey, Ronnie, finally caught a stream. Hope all is well. All is well. We're getting there. We're getting back up to it. Season 7 had some good stuff, but that started to go cheap. Yeah, I mean, I think Steven, the only thing from season 7 I remember being any good is episode 1. And that's it. I'd probably have to rewatch it to really dive into it, but that's all I remember. Since we are bound to get a new Texas Chainsaw movie, which was the best and worst in the franchise? Okay, well, Texas Chainsaw is a weird one because I never rewatched and I barely watched Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, for example, the original 2. It's actually a good thing. Let's pull them up on screen. I never watched it because back in the day, they had posters and trailers, and the trailers and the poster look so fucking stupid. Like everything about it screamed cheap and dumb as fuck. And even being young and dumb, I still like skipped it. I've never seen the original Texas Chainsaw 2 with Matthew McConaughey. I've seen parts of it. Like we'd have it playing, like a friend would put it on, and like I'd watch like 30 minutes and I'd be like, this is trash. So I'd have to rewatch it now. But I will say, oh, I butchered that word, franchise. Yeah. Franchisee. I will say my favorites right off the top are the original, obviously, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and the 2003 remake with probably the most gorgeous woman in the world at the time, which would be Jessica Alba dressed as the girl from Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Let me show you. Jessica Biel. Did I say that right? Did I say Alba? I meant Biel. If I mixed it up. Let me just show you a little something. It says do not copy. I will not copy. Let me just show you a little something. Why is it so blurry, though? There we go. That one's not blurry. Yes, right here. Probably, if I was ever to have a crush on an actor, whoa, buddy. Whoa. Like, my God. You know? Shit. Get the duct tape. She kind of look like a man here, though. Not a man. I mean, like, look buff, athletic with her arms. Here's some of Jessica Biel. I keep trying to say Alba. She's got manly arms here. I let her beat my ass any day, though. Look at that. Holy fucking shit, boys. Shit. Anyway, so Texas Chainsaw Massacre franchise, the original 2003 remake. Google, how can I pull up all the movies? Can I just do a list of movies? How fucking hard is this? Okay, here's all the movies, kinda. So it's 1974, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the best. Texas Chainsaw Part 2, crap. Texas Chainsaw Part 3, that's another one I've never watched. Something called All American Massacre. I don't know what that fucking is, you know? And then the 2003 remake. Okay, so I think this franchise is probably one of the horror slasher franchises that I have watched the least. And I'm wrong. Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the next generation, was the one with Renee Zellweger and Matthew McConaughey. Part 2 is with Dustin Hopper. I have seen some of that, so I am swapping them. I made a mistake. It's the next generation that I thought was dog shit awful. So I'm going to have to say 74, 2003, and then from there on out, listen, I'm going with the 2022. People think it's a serious movie, and I think it's a satire that makes fun of certain people. And I'm going with that as the number 3 spot. Believe it or not, motherfuckers, you know? The yo cuz, what up? I don't know what that is. And she like throws the chainsaw. I think that's the new beginning. Awful. Awful. Never work in movies again. That was terrible. What's this? Texas Chainsaw 3D? I don't remember this, man. And then the Leatherface, I stopped watching that. I just didn't enjoy that. Oh no, that one, Texas Chainsaw 3D, is dog shit. Alexandra Daddario, is that her name? Dog shit. The acting, her acting in that is horrendous. I don't know how she had a career after that one. So I would have to put 74, 2003, and 2022 in like a 1, 2, and 3. And the rest of them, I'm chucking down in the trash bin of bullshit. But with a caveat. I have to rewatch part 2 and part 3. Because I'll be real, man. I think I skipped part 3 altogether. I really do. Doomsday's Crypt is here. He probably watched those. We'll see. We'll pick his brain, see if they're good. It's a fun watch. I'm gonna have to rewatch it because I was mixing it up with The Next Generation, which even if you watch that as a bad movie, I have a hard time. It's so fucking weird, man. I said Biel. Okay, good. Yeah, Jessica Biel is like, you know, if there was ever an Adam and Eve, that's fucking Eve right there, boys, you know? I thoroughly enjoy 2003 remake, and it's funny because when I first seen it, I went to the theaters, and I think I took a girlfriend to it, and I enjoyed it as a movie, but I remember being kind of let down, you know? And I think that's because I held the original in such high regard. But years later, I would go on to rewatch it. I think me and a couple friends were playing pool, you know, got some beer, because I remember like hanging out. But then I remember stopping in the middle of just chilling and watching and being like, bro, I need to give this movie a second chance. Like this is good, you know? And then a little time went by and I rewatched it again and I was like, bro, I like this one, you know, hands down. It could be improved, sure, but I like it more than I give it credit for in the past. Now today, it's probably my second favorite. I really like it. I'm in tears, laughed my ass off. 3D was honestly terrible. Yeah, do your thing, cuz. She throws the fucking chainsaw. Like, imagine you're in Hollywood. You're dealing with multi-millions of dollars to create fantasy shit, you know? Given it's goofy, it's silly, they're all weird as hell. Imagine you have to, and it's fine. Like, I embrace it. I think that's an oddity. That's weird. Like, a lot of this stuff, whether it's YouTube or movies or Hollywood, it's weird. You're just fucking pretending. You're playing make believe as a grown adult. Like, the shit is goofy. However, you know, you could get it to make it work to be good. But these are people who are in a goofy industry. Fine. I recognize that. And you're dealing with millions of dollars. Now, Texas Chainsaw probably wasn't dealing with tens upon tens and hundreds of millions. Fine. But you're probably dealing with maybe 10, 20 million, 30, 40 maybe. You're dealing with millions. And someone actually wrote the line, "Do your thing, cuz," to Leatherface, and then chucks him a chainsaw. What the fuck? Like, what? How much drugs do you need to be on to think that was a good idea? And even the rest of it too. Like, how many drugs and how many nights do you have to do these drugs in succession for you to come up with most of the shit needed for that movie? It was awful, you know, awful. Anyhow, part 2 and 3, not bad watches. I'm gonna have to rewatch them because, like I said, I mixed up The Next Generation. What's that All American Massacre from 2000? That's in the franchise catalog. And I'll be real, man, I have no idea what that is. Let me click on that. But I think out of all the slashers, Texas Chainsaw, admittedly, is probably the one I did the least of a deep dive into. Like I said, I hit those mains and I really lost interest with Texas Chainsaw 3D. That almost single-handedly killed the franchise for me personally. And when I was younger, I was real picky with like if it was good or not. Now, I got to go back. For some reason, I never sat and watched the totality of part 2, which I love because there's a couple movies that were like classics back in the day that I skipped totally, and I got to the chance to rewatch them, and it's like there's a whole different vibe to enjoy something from the 80s that, you know, you can just enjoy for the very first time really now, you know? But you also used to enjoy those style movies back in the day. It's like finding I don't know, like a rare little gem. And I think one of the rarest gems for me was like The Burning. I never watched The Burning growing up. I think I watched it when I was in my 20s, like when I was 20, early 20s, if I remember right, maybe a little later. And that's a great movie. It's like if you want to pretend it's a Friday the 13th movie, it's a great, one of the best Friday the 13th movies that's not a Friday the 13th movie. I think The Burning is a better Friday the 13th than the original Friday the 13th, and I stand on that. Now, I got a lot of love for where the franchise goes, fine, but if you want that vibe of a Friday the 13th movie, The Burning is great. And another one is obviously Sleepaway Camp. I got it on the shelf. I keep it with my Friday the 13th movies. I love Sleepaway Camp, and that's one I watched parts of or all of. I don't remember it when I was younger, but the ending didn't hit me like as, I don't know, man. For some reason, I took the ending as something different. So, but now I stand by Sleepaway Camp is probably one of the best if you love that type of movie. And they actually show camp life too, you know. 2 and 3 are great casts. So 2 and 3, it's that's gonna be fun. I'm gonna have a good time watching those now. Super Freddy, Pluto from Hills Have Eyes remake almost replaced Bernansky in remake. Michael Bailey Smith, he was in costume for sequel. He'd be great for Leatherface. He looked badass in costume. That's what's up. Clyde Alexander said, Texas Chainsaw is definitely a slasher that doesn't have enough good movies. The only other franchise that's got it bad is Hellraiser. Yeah, Hellraiser took quite a hit, man. The sequel, 903. Andrew was very difficult on set. Whoa. Felissa Rose, super cool. Hey, Ron, do you stay in touch with James? Hope he's doing okay. I actually got to send him a message. It's been a little while. I've been so busy at work. I do got to send him a message and see how life's been treating him this last little bit. But James is awesome. He's always awesome. But yeah, I haven't been in touch with him for a little bit. So I got to get my ass back in touch with him. Because part of my plan was to take a YouTube break. And I was only going to take a break for a few months and then get things on track. But when I took a break and got in the industry, I realized I was like, oh, there's a chance for me to like quadruple my income by learning a lot with heating and cooling HVAC. And because they're desperate for bosses out, supervisors in North Carolina. I mean, they're so desperate for workers. They got people now, right? But most properties are short staffed, and most properties have staff that don't care to do good work. They just do the bare minimum, or they don't know how to fix appliances and stuff like that. So if you wanted to make money, like I'm not even lying to you, you could, as long as you accepted, you could probably make between 17 and 19 an hour immediately. Now, hold on before you go like, oh, I can't live off that. Well, the way is to build up. So you'd start at a agency, temp agency. They'll hire anybody, fucking anybody. You bring us a wrench, they'll hire you. And I run into a lot of people in North Carolina that are like, oh, I'm trying to make money. How do I do it? And I'm like, bro, just do this. Go to an agency. They'll put you somewhere to do maintenance. 17 to 19 an hour. Learn the appliances, learn how to do turns, learn how to do that. It probably takes a few months, you know, and then you could get another bump and you'll be making 20 in your 20s around there. Once you get certified with EPA, which there's ways around it where you can do it. The certification is really bullshit anyway. Everyone finds a way around it. And then you get certified to take care of swimming pools. Again, super easy. Read the book. You take a class. It takes all day. And once you get your certs, you're looking at, you could probably get 24 to 26 an hour most places. Well, let's say 22 to 26 an hour. in a lot of, not most, a lot of places, as long as you have your certs and you know your skill. And we're not talking taking years. We're talking taking a few months. So you can jump in at 17 and be making 24 within a few months. And then from there, you can go to a lead tech, which anywhere from, 24 to 27, 28 an hour, depending on where you go. And then from there, you get a supervisor, which is anywhere from 28 to in mid 30s, let's say 34, 35. I think 35, 34, 35 is what I would look to get. Because I'm at the end, in around November, I'm going to begin searching for a supervisor role, and I'm going to be looking for 34 an hour. So, but I do run into a lot of people who are like, "Yo, they're putting apartment complexes everywhere. If you want to make money, get into that field." Like, I don't know about where you're at, but here they're desperate for work. So, but my plan was to jump in and just work some and then fund the YouTube. But then I was thinking, bro, I could take a couple years, become a boss, and then now I have the money to live and I can fund YouTube content and some other, because we do want to film a few shorts, like horror movies, and we need some sort of funding. And it's dumb to fund your own project. That's not what we're doing, but you need some sort of backing to stabilize yourself and your family and everything that's going on to be able to make stuff. So at least I'm close to being in the position to begin doing that, which has me really excited. And it's surprising how well it has worked out in the last 2 years. It's probably one of the best decisions I've ever made, to be honest. So anyhow, but yes, I do got to get back in touch with a couple people, quite frankly. Yeah, we all hope James as well. We love James here. The ending twist in Sleepaway Camp as a kid freaked me out. Keeps me in the top 5 list. Yeah, I forget. I think I had to have been at like a party, because I remember it being like for like a kid's party. Not a kid's party, but those parties where the parents are away, but you're kind of hanging out in the basement or something, playing pool, or it depends on which friend. Because I think I only had like one friend that had a pool table in the basement. But one of those parties where you get pizza and you're kind of in the back room and you got a couple horror movies that maybe the parents wouldn't be so thrilled that you're watching, but you sneak them in. And I think the ending, either I was sleepy or something, but it caught me off. It caught me in a different way. As a kid, I don't think I understood it. And again, I probably watched it really young, don't forget. But then I never really thought about it after that until I was like years later after watching it again. And I was like, oh, I get it. That's a pretty ballsy twist, if you get my drift. That's a pretty ballsy twist, if you get my drift. And then a while after that, I embraced like the movie in its entirety, because it's a great companion piece to Friday the 13th, I feel. So if you like Friday the 13th, you'll fucking love Sleepaway Camp. Yeah, if I could figure out a couple things. Doomsday's Crypt. If I could figure out a couple things, I think getting guests is something I would love to start doing. One problem I'm having, I don't know if anyone else is having this problem. I looked it up recently. I have a Windows update. It's like, what is this called? Version 24H2, and it keeps failing. And I looked it up, and a lot of other people are saying like that version is failing on them too. Now, because it's an update that's stalled, it's like it lags my PC a bit. Every time I need to do like an update, the PC lags a bit until I update it and it's fine. But this update keeps giving me an error. So I got to figure out how to resolve that update. I tried to go in the system and do something. I followed this troubleshooting guide, but it failed. So I got to try to find something else. But it is a Windows update. It's one of the more recent ones. And man, I got to get that fixed before I can move on, because it's been fucking with my PC for like 2 weeks now. The new horror films, The Woman in the Yard. I don't know if I'm down to watch that one though. Oh man, my daughter's learning how to whistle for the first time. I think Ellie whistled when she was 14, by the way. Um, the Woman in the Yard, I don't think I have. Someone spoiled that for me, and I don't think I would. The ending sounds stupid, so I probably won't jump into that, but maybe. 825. Wait. What is that? 825 Forest Road. I don't think I heard of that one. You know what I did buy though? The Wailing. I've been really meaning to watch The Wailing, and I never got around to it. But on Amazon, they had a deal where The Wailing was like $9 in 4K. And I was like, fuck it, man. So I grabbed The Wailing. Yeah, Until Dawn, I'm not looking forward to because I played the game and someone said it's nothing like the game. Home Sweet Home, you mean the old one? Ugh, Wolfman, that's another one you might have to put a gun in my head on that one. I have a hard time. I could probably shit review that one. I have a hard time with werewolf movies when they do two things. One, it's an actual like wolf, not a werewolf. They just film a regular wolf or dog and they act like that's cool. Or two, when they go the complete opposite route and there's no hair. Like when you have a werewolf and there's little to no hair, you lost me. Don't even speak to me, you know? That's what Wolfman is, and I'm a little frustrated on that concept alone. I remember James Art watching on the channel. They were cool. Hope you get back to your comic one day. Yeah, those are all in goals. We're getting there. Like it was a longer delay leaving YouTube than I expected, but in all honesty, when I look back at it, it is all for the better because I'm just I am and will continue to be in such a better place um to be, you know, funded and secure, and I don't have to worry about you know, I needed a new PC for the whatever. All right, fine. We got one for editing for this, that, and a third. I need a new hard drive. It's got to be big because you know those things get expensive. I could get one. Like these are things that I may not take all my paychecks and fund a whole short film, but these are the peripherals and things that you would need that I don't have to sit here and like do a spreadsheet on, okay, you know, maybe in 3 weeks I can get that and this, I can this, like we're good now. So it's great. I just wish I could have done it a little faster, but there's only so many hours in a day. So, but it's all for the better. I think I'm in a far better position now than I was before the really big YouTube ad thing remember that whatever controversy they had years ago, that was the first time where it like that hurt, that crippled the channel almost. And I should have bounced immediately and made a correction, but it was just so sudden. It was swift. It was, you know, like 80% of the revenue overnight, literally overnight. Because I know for 2 weeks there, I was like, okay, my channel's holding strong. Everyone's complaining they're getting hit. My hit channel's holding strong, and I think it was around that 2-week mark. It was almost within 3 days. It went from making this much to making, you know, next to nothing. I mean, it was making sustainable because I think it was making a few thousand a month, and it went down to like 400 a month, and I stayed there strong. So it is what it is. But I definitely should have course corrected far early because then I'd probably be where I want to be there already, you know. But it's fine because I already have things in place. By the end of the year, I will be in a position to be the boss. So I'm fine with that. It'll work. Werewolves should be at least 2 feet, not 4. I agree. 2 feet and hairy. There's a new one, A Home Sweet Home. Or maybe I'm thinking of Sweet Alice or something. But I thought there was a Home Sweet Home. I'll look for a new one though. The best werewolf thing I've ever seen was Love, Death, and Robots. I've seen parts of that. It looked pretty cool. More to the point, what happened to Spin Spin? She vanished off the face of the earth. She'll probably come back around, or maybe she won't. But I don't know. You know what, though? She is more of a Carol fan. So maybe when the Daryl and Carol spinoff comes back, she'll pop back in every now and again. Or she could have found no interest to be in The Walking Dead or on this channel or anywhere else. It's hard to tell, you know. All right. We're going to close down the poll because we're going to lock it up. We went over our hour. You got to hit up Spin. If you do talk to her, tell her I said what's up. Hope everything's going well for her. All right. Poll is down. 73% voted bad. 72 was the official vote. 27% voted good. I'm not surprised. This episode was trash. Let me close now some of these tabs here. I'm conflicted. We got 2 episodes left. And the trailer we saw for the coming episode doesn't look interesting. And half of it seems like it has to deal with Herschel's little dumbass running away. I don't care. Die. You know, fucking die. The character's just an annoying little shithead anyway. So we'll see where that goes. But I'm looking forward to Negan dying because that's either going to happen in the finale or he'll die next season. I just don't see him staying around now that the actor is openly like, you know, prepare guys, I want to leave this show. And I don't blame him. I think the writing's getting stale. Imagine acting as Negan for this. Like, you have more fun as an actor than, you know, cleaning sewage or doing like being a pizza maker. No matter most other jobs, 90% of other jobs, you're having far more fun as an actor. Job to job, you know, because you're going to have stressful days, sure. But if you side them side by side, you're probably all going to wish you were an actor instead of a fucking, you know, I don't know, working the kitchen or doing dishes or whatever the fuck, doing sheet metal, doing roofing or construction or even maintenance. So he could be having fun. But look at the character that we had. Negan's in jail. Negan's forced to do stuff. You know, Negan runs into Maggie. Negan runs into Herschel. Negan gets yelled at by Grandma. Negan gets yelled at by an old savior. Although Negan fights back and kicks out an old savior. Negan sends his family away by looking out the window. Man, is it really boring, you know? I'm not surprised he wants to get the fuck out of there. There's nothing daring with the writing. There's nothing clever with the writing. There's nothing complex with the writing. I mean, you have Negan. This is a character that he swims in the moral gray, you know? He eats that shit for breakfast. And you just got him being a little bitch. Taking no risks. Doing nothing new or interesting or innovative. Just dull as shit. So anyway, the good news is this is probably the last of Dead City. We'll probably have one more season and they'll finish it out. I don't know if I'm coming back for season 3. I think I have 2 more episodes in me. Maybe. And I think I just got to be done until the show's done. And maybe I'll binge watch it then. All right. Leave your thoughts and opinions down below. Anything you want to mention, I'll read the comments through later and pick up some ideas for other content to do this week, next week, the week after. Doomsday's Crypt finishes by saying he acts like Negan in every episode. I'll be seeing some of the cast this year. Not episode is his acting. I'm a big fan. Wait, what the fuck? What the fuck? Not episode in his acting. And I'm a big fan. What? He acts like Negan in every episode. I'll be seeing some of the cast this year. I don't think I understand what you mean. But maybe I do. Maybe there's a typo, you know? Episode. Said in every, not episode. Well, we'll pick this up next Sunday. Doomsday's Crypt. I'll figure out what you're saying later. All right, guys, be safe. I'm gonna head out of here.